Welcome to the Daybreak with Jeff Slakey podcast. I'm so happy you found us. Please subscribe, rate, review, and share this with your circle of influence. It's a collection of the interviews, news, and conversation during Daybreak with Jeff Slakey on I-Fiber1 News Radio, KMAS, weekdays from 6 to 9. And again, good morning to you here on the Daybreak Show. Coming up today, this half hour, we'll talk a little bit and dive deep into Give Local and a great fundraiser that's been going on the last couple of days. And today's Give Wednesday, so there's a special distinction for today. Shannon Klasell from Sound Learning on to talk about the Give Local campaign and what it does for nonprofits like Sound Learning. Additionally, after the top of the hour newscast, a Zoom open house is coming up tonight on the Shelton Tiny Village project. And Jaycie Osterberg, Executive Director of Quixote Village, is on to talk about that and the invitation for you to join in. The weather has just been wicked. It's been raining hard. Before we get to the newscast, Spencer, what's going on with the weather today?
Well, we're getting rain today, not as hard as we did last night and yesterday. It just seemed like an endless downpour. The good news is the Skoke River, the levels are expected to gradually lower throughout the remainder of the morning and the day, so that's good there. It looks like the worst is gone for there, but we will be getting periods of rain throughout the day today. Mason County Public Health was notified of 6 additional Mason County residents that tested positive for COVID-19, bringing the total to 683 positive cases in Mason County.
And Spencer, first too, as I look a little deeper into this, of this 2 now hospitalized within Mason County, 2 folks are hospitalized outside of Mason County. There have been about 17,100 tests performed. Active cases are 67 currently happening now. There have been 94 cases in the last 14 days, and the rate per 100,000 is 145.
Wow, some pretty sobering numbers. And the Washington State Department of Health has reported 2,589 additional COVID-19 cases, 23 more deaths, setting another new record. The previous record was set Sunday with 2,519 cases. The state has set multiple new records in the past week. The update brings the state's totals to over 134,000 cases and 2,571 deaths. The state says 1.9% of people diagnosed in Washington have died. State health officials also reported that 9,573 people have been hospitalized in the state due to the virus, with 55 new hospitalizations since Monday. Health officials also say a deadly outbreak of the coronavirus among residents and staff at Josephine Caring Community in Stanwood has grown to 99 cases.
Well, please just do whatever you can, mask up, and I know it's uncomfortable to have and ask for family, extended family or friends in your neighborhood to wear masks when you're near them, but it's better than getting deathly sick or worse.
Yeah, and just when you think you're kind of embarrassed to ask, I hope I don't get flack for this.
I feel like the other person's waiting for someone to take the first step. You be that first step.
Yeah. And I don't think they'll mind. Sometimes it's an oversight. The other day, I actually got to work, and I realized that was the first time, probably since we've been masking up, that I didn't have it already on my face, and I had left it on the seat of the car, and I was like, oh, man. And I see a lot of people doing that. Just kind of those aha moments where you forget, or, people just, they think they're wearing them. That's another thing. Sometimes you're wearing them so much, you think you're wearing them all the time, and you actually don't have it on.
Yeah. A reminder here in the city of Shelton that the Civic Center is closed due to the governor's new orders at least through Monday the 14th. There is customer service options available from 8:30 to 4:30 Monday through Friday, but all non-essential city personnel will be working from home through the 14th of December. Check out the city's website for more information.
A federal judge in Seattle has awarded $10 million to the family of a severely disabled child who was born after a community clinic nurse inadvertently gave the mother a flu shot instead of a birth control injection. The Seattle Times reports a federal judge last week awarded the child $7.5 million for her medical, educational, and other expenses. The award came on top of $2.5 million in damages for her parents. The judge found that the mother would not have become pregnant in 2011 if the nurse at the clinic had given her the correct shot. The federal government is responsible for the damages because the clinic is federally funded.
There is a new state Secretary of Health. It is Dr. Umair A. Shah. Governor Inslee appointed Dr. Shah yesterday, currently serving as Executive Director and Local Health Authority down in Harris County in Houston, Texas. Dr. Shah will replace John Weissman. He is going to go to the University of North Carolina. Shah will start his new job on December 21st.
The Shelton Police Department has launched Books and Badges, a school supply drive in partnership with Graduation Matters to support students in our community. Back to school season this year looks a little different, obviously, than usual, but our students out there still need supplies. Needed supplies include paper, pens, pencils, folders, and wireless computer mice, too. Supply donations can be brought to Smoke and Moe's or our Community Credit Union. Monetary donations can be brought to either the Shelton Police Department or Peninsula Credit Union. Donations will be accepted until Friday, this coming Friday. All donated supplies will be distributed to local students in need.
And I'm not too sure now with the new restrictions on the drop-offs at Smoke and Moe's or our Community Credit Union.
I was thinking
Peninsula
that, yeah.
Union. Maybe the drive-throughs for that. But if you happen to be and want to donate and you're going to take them down to Smoke and Moe's, check with them, too, to see what's going on with the menu. Restaurants are getting killed.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. Get yourself some ribs or some side dishes, take them home.
We're working on a campaign. You've probably heard the Radio Fryer ads, but we're working on a campaign to figure out the best way that we can get the word out that these restaurants are open for takeout. If you're a restaurateur open for takeout, get in touch with Rod at ifiber1.com. You can call me, call Spencer. We'll get you in touch with Rod, but it's basically, it's being paid for, it's being taken care of, but restaurants have an option to call the listener line and talk about being open, and we'll play that stuff on the air. It's just an important time, and all of us need to be a part of this together, I think.
No, absolutely. We lost a lot of businesses in the first wave of the shutdowns, and I fear we'll lose some more too, so we're doing everything we can to avoid that.
Yeah, so let's go to sports here. Seattle Sounders, the soccer club, have added Baseball Hall of Famer Ken Griffey Jr. to the club's ownership group. Griffey's ownership stake finalized earlier in the year, announcement though delayed because of the pandemic. That's kind of a cool one. With all the yards and touchdowns he's thrown for the season, Russell Wilson has been more exposed as a passer than any other point in his career. For the first 5 games, the Hawks' O-line was exceptional at keeping Wilson protected enough for the quarterback to get off to one of the best starts in league history. But ever since Week 7 and that loss to the Cardinals, the pressure surrounding Wilson has increased. We'll find out what happens tomorrow as they play once again those same Arizona Cardinals. 3 o'clock pregame, 5:20 kickoff. Seahawks are presented by Shelton Health and Rehab, Riviera's Shellfish, South Sound Appliance, Dogtown Grooming, Neil's Pharmacy, and the Shelton Athletic Club. And again, coming up on the show today here, the Give Local campaign is happening now through Friday. Today's Giving Wednesday, so we'll learn a little bit more about Sound Learning and what they do in relation to the help that can be given by the Community Foundation. Also, after the top of the hour newscast, Shelton Tiny Villages. The project continues to roll forward. There's a Zoom open house tonight, and Jaycie Osterberg, Executive Director of Quixote Villages, is on to talk about that project and more. It's all coming up here on Daybreak this Wednesday morning, and good morning to you.
From the iFiber One News Radio studios, you're listening to Daybreak.
Well, good morning, everybody. Jeff Slakey and Spencer Hughes here on the Daybreak Show. Have via Zoom video conference a great conversation about the Shelton Veterans Village with Jaycie Osterberg. How you doing, Jaycie? Good to see you.
Hi, Hi, I'm doing well. Good to see you too. Thank you for having me.
For sure. This has been a long time coming. And of course, we wish that we could do this open house in person. But regardless, it's still a great day that tonight is the Shelton open house for the Veterans Village. For those who aren't familiar, let's do a little background and then talk about tonight.
Yes, absolutely. So I work for Quixote Communities. It's a local nonprofit, and we are working to build a what's called the Shelton Veterans Village. It's going to be permanent homes for homeless veterans that are living in Mason County. We'll have, they're actually tiny homes, but we'll have 30 of those. And then we'll also have a large community center where folks will be able to have access to supportive staff to help them with really whatever they're needing. So we really try to work as resource navigators for them. And we've been working on this project for quite a long time. And so I wanted to do an open house because, there's been kind of COVID and everything kind of slowed down. And so we really wanted to open it up to the public, let them know where we're at, what's going on. It's still going on. The open house is going to be tonight at 5:30, and it's just a Zoom, a regular Zoom that I'll be there, and some of my board members will be there. And it's really just an open discussion for folks. It's open to the public. It's free. Just bring your questions, whatever you're wanting to ask, or if you're just wanting to learn more about the project, please come.
I'll put the links in the show notes to get to the website, quixotecommunities.org. And it's not just the Shelton Veterans Village. There are other ones in our area that have been up and running for a little while now. How has the progress been with those?
Yeah, so we opened Quixote Village, which was our first village in Olympia, and we're about to have our 7-year anniversary actually next month, which is really exciting. And so we've seen a ton of successes for that, for people just stabilizing and being able to just live and get back into society or do whatever they're needing to or wanting to do. We've seen a lot of people reunite with family members or move into, making a stepping stone, moving out into their own permanent homes, or just, getting help for their mental health, physical health, substance use, education, employment, really whatever they're needing. We try to find resources for them to give them access to those services. And so that one's up and running for 7 years. And then we are also working on one in Ording, which is about 15 minutes away from Puyallup. It's a small, pretty rural town, similar to Shelton. And that one, we have broken ground. We're under construction, and we're hoping to open that in March of 2021. So that one's coming really soon.
That's great. I think the last time we talked a little bit about that Ording community and how there was, we had to go out and explain what was happening and bring it to the community that that this is going to be a benefit. Very cool. In Mason County, I know you had a lot of hard work and help with State Senator Tim Sheldon. He's been kind of key in getting this going in the city of Shelton. So big thanks to Tim for the hard work that he's put into this. Will we be able to see the pictures or like a walkthrough during the event?
Yeah, I wish there was more to show, but we do have a lease with the city of Shelton, so we do have land, and I can definitely show photos of that. Unfortunately, we haven't broken ground yet, but it's a really great property. It's on North 13th Street. It's on a major bus line near the hospital, near the college. So we're really excited about that. It's just undeveloped land. And then we do have mock-ups, and I can definitely share that with you as well too. And put it on our Facebook and show it at the thing tonight of the design of what the actual tiny homes in the community center is going to look like, as well as the overall site plan.
There are some opportunities for you to not only adopt in a tiny home. There's links that I'll put on there as well, but there are some other ways that you can get involved with in-kind donations. There's different ways you can help on the donation pages. And again, I'll put the links to that so you can get there. But again, tonight, it is going to be at 5:30. I'll put the links. And that's public, right? I can share the links so people.
Please share it. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that and make sure everybody gets a chance to hop on and see this and question and answer period. And this is a big deal for the community of Shelton and Mason County and our veterans for sure. Well, good to know that this is still ongoing despite whatever else is happening out there in the world, and good to update folks on this one. When we get closer to breaking ground, let's get maybe by then we'll have an opportunity to go up there or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to do that and be in person again. Yeah.
That would be awesome. Jaycie Osterberg on the line with me right now, talking about tonight's meeting on the Shelton Open House for the Shelton Veterans Village through Quixote Communities at quixotecommunities.org. Again, I'll put the links to that in the show notes. Good to see you, Jaycie. Hope you're well and safe, and we'll check in down the road.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. Take care.
You're listening to Daybreak on I-Fiber News Radio.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Jeff Slakey and Spencer Hughes on the Daybreak Show. You have probably seen around in the South Sound that the Community Foundation for South Puget Sound is working through its fall appeals, and it's time to Give Local 2020 to help celebrate our community giving. And this helps great organizations all throughout Thurston, Mason, and Lewis counties. On the Zoom call today, here from Sound Learning, the executive director, Shannon Klasell. Shannon, how you doing? First off, I do want to also point out I am the president of the board at Sound Learning. I'm very happy to be a member of the board and the great work that Sound does. We're going to use this as a springboard to talk about the whole Give Local campaign, what the Community Foundation does in general. But I needed a nonprofit to kind of talk about, so why not bring Sound Learning into the mix? How you doing, Shannon?
I'm doing okay, Jeff. Thanks. Yeah.
It's been a rough year for Sound Learning and nonprofits in general. Yeah. So why don't you give just a little update on how we've kind of navigated the COVID conditions over the last few months?
Well, it's been a little bit like, if anybody's ever done that, taking a boat through Deception Pass when the tide is changing. It's like this and it's not, and it's crazy. But for a lot of organizations, nonprofits in particular, because all of our guidelines are different, and they're it's not like just like everybody's doing this. So back in March, shutdown happened, and we went from an organization that did work face to face primarily with some technology as backup, to an organization that had to do everything remotely or distance. And our amazing staff, and this is in two and a half weeks, had developed a whole range of programming so that it was equitable and accessible to people, whether they had a computer and internet at home, or if all they had was their cell phone, or if they even didn't have that, they were able to continue their studies in a whole range of different ways. And I have to give a shout out to all the other community-based organizations in the state. There's 6 of us still who do this kind of work. They've all stepped up in different ways to do the same kind of thing. So that's wonderful. And then in the summer, because of phase 2, we were able to start meeting with students face-to-face again, but in a very limited way. So it's been a hybrid, using the technology or delivering packets, mailing them work to do at home and talking to them over the phone about it, or however that was also giving each student a chance to have one session a week where they got to work with their instructor in person. Now, and we were doing just fine. And then Sunday, everything changed again. So we're still a little unclear about how, again, we're not classed technically as higher education, so exempt, and we're kind of a professional services, but we're also a nonprofit. So we're working on keeping the ability to do some one-to-one that we do have the right to do with students for testing and training that they can't get online. And then that's it.
It's just been, for all the nonprofits around the community, they've all had these unique challenges they've had to work through. Talk to me a little bit about the partnership that you have and that you understand most nonprofits to have with the Community Foundation, a great group of people that do a lot.
Community Foundation of South Puget Sound is an amazing organization. They are sort of a clearinghouse, a gathering place for all sorts of foundations, smaller and larger, that want to, contribute to the nonprofits in a particular area. And so their expertise is the South Puget Sound region, although, people know about them from near and far. And so they're supportive of all of the nonprofits, whether it's a one-person operation or a large one. And every year, they put on a Give Local campaign, which is South Puget Sound centric, as opposed to Giving Tuesday, which is up in King County and, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Today's Wednesday. It's a Giving Wednesday. It's a special day in the life of this fundraiser that's happening now. So first, I do want to point out the website, spsgives.org. I'll put the link in the show notes as well. This goes to the main page here, and then you can do searches for any of your favorite nonprofits, including Sound Learning. It'll pop up there. So now talk about a little bit the different ways that today is unique, and then how the rest of the process is going to go for everybody.
So today is Giving Wednesday. So anybody who donates on Wednesday, no matter if you donate $5 or $100 or $1,000, doesn't matter. Your name gets put in a pot, let's say, put in a hat, a virtual hat, and there's a drawing done. And the person who is drawn, who wins, is granted another donation that they can designate to any one of the nonprofits that they're interested in donating to.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, I can't say how much it is. Last year it was $100. So I'm assuming it's probably that now, but I couldn't find the details this morning. So.
Well, every little bit helps. I mean,
but it amplifies it. The other thing that they do with that Community Foundation does with Sound Learning, which is another reason to have this be a platform that you do your donation through, or a year-end donation, is that at the end of the process, they take a look at how much money each organization was given, and they give a portion of a huge grant that they've been given to put aside to match that at a certain percentage.
Wow.
So so you get extra money just for having participated. And depending on the level you participate, you get a little bit more, a little bit less, but every little penny counts.
Give Local ends on Friday.
This coming Friday is the last day. The other thing people can do, because on Give Local, you can donate online with your credit card. And the wonderful thing, again, that the Community Foundation is making happen is that all credit card fees, all processing fees are being matched by another pot of money. So every dime that an individual donates goes to the organization that they're donating to.
We'll put the links to how to get to this, of course, at spsgives.org.
Yes.
I'll also throw in the direct link to the Sound Learning one, just so you can learn a little bit more about what we do. And it's already, as of when we're talking about this, almost 2,000 gifts have been donated, and close to $250,000 has been raised already. So great folks out there helping these great nonprofits. On the air. Shannon, good to talk with you. And I know it's been a struggle for us, and I can only imagine the struggle for all the other nonprofits across the South Sound over the year.
The wonderful thing about most of our nonprofits are that everybody just decides, okay, we're going to step up, we're going to do things different, and we're going to get it done.
Yeah.
And that's really inspiring to me as I've been, in contact with these people.
Now's the time to give, and especially today with the opportunity to maybe win a little extra prize for one of those nonprofits. spsgives.org. You can search for Sound Learning or one of the many other great nonprofits in our community that are doing a lot of good. And Sound Learning is online at soundlearning.co. Check us out as well. Shannon, good to see you. And
thank you.
And we'll continue to spread the good word of Sound Learning, I guess.
And thank you very much. It's great to see you, Jeff. Be well.
Thank you so much for listening to today's Daybreak with Jeff Slakey podcast. Again, I'm so happy and honored you found us and chose to listen. Please subscribe, rate, review, and share this with your circle of influence. It's a collection of some of the interviews, news, and conversation during Daybreak with Jeff Slakey on iFiber One News Radio KMAS, weekdays from 6 to 9. Thank you so much again, and talk with you next time.